for Bruce, and he was about half an hour late, and it's not like him to be late, so I called. I said to Raymond, I said, "Where's Bruce? Do you know where he is?" He said, "Oh yeah, I know where he is, this is the number."
Calling en route to collect Ting Pei from her apartment, Bruce had complained of a severe headache. Ting Pei had offered him a pain-killing tablet called Equagesic. After taking the pill, Bruce had lain down on the bed to rest, but quickly lost consciousness. He never recovered. Bruce Lee is pronounced dead on arrival at Hong Kong's Queen Elizabeth Hospital. He was only 32 years old. In the absence of a statement from the Lee family, the local press continued to fuel speculation, and then at Kai Tak Airport, just before boarding the plane which will carry Bruce and the family back to the United States, Linda Lee finally breaks her silence.
It is my wish that the newspapers and the people of Hong Kong will stop speculating on the circumstances surrounding my husband's death. Although we do not have the final autopsy report, I hold no suspicion of anything other than natural death. I myself do not hold any person or people responsible for his death. Fate has ways we cannot change. The only thing of importance is that Bruce is gone and will not return. He lives on in our memories and through his films. Please remember him for his genius, his art, and the magic he brought to every one of us. For we who knew him very well, his words and thoughts will remain with us forever and influence the rest of our lives.
The coroner agrees. His verdict: death by misadventure. Bruce was deemed to have been hypersensitive to an ingredient in Equagesic called meprobabate. This hypersensitivity caused a brain swelling known in medical parlance as cerebral edema, which in turn led to his death.
Through injuries and what have you, I got to know the doctor who did the autopsy, and they said it was just like a blood vessel burst inside his head and started leaking. Like an inner tube in a tire got too thin and just started leaking, and that was causing the headache. I think it was just overtrained. A lot of people say he got hit there or whatever, but or secret this or secret that, but I just think he was too dedicated to his training. It was sad.
In the years following Bruce Lee's death, the game of death rushes, on which he'd worked so passionately during the last months of his life, remained unedited and placed in semi-permanent storage in the vaults of Golden Harvest Studios. By 1978, the fervor surrounding the unused footage had reached fever pitch. Fans from all over the world want to see their hero in action one last time. In response to the overwhelming public demand, Golden Harvest Chief Executive Raymond Chow hires a team of researchers to work on a new Game of Death script, while scouring Europe and the United States in the hope of finding a writer who can capture the essence of Bruce Lee's philosophy and writing style. Eventually settling with Jan Spears, Chow also enlists the services of Enter the Dragon director Robert Klaus to oversee the production. For action legend Sammo Hung is left the most difficult task of all: to recreate no less than 7 fight scenes in the unmistakable style of the late, great Bruce Lee.
Of course, that time everybody's very sad, about the Bruce passed away, and then the Raymond Chow, he asked me to do it, finish the Game of Death, the movie. Of course, I love to do, I really love to do, because he is my hero in my heart already, of course, every detail, everything, I know that I see the rushes, I see his films, and his close-up. How do I use his close-up? I'm working 15 days, day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night, just like that, When my sleeping time, just on the way in the car, sleeping, another location to that location, director, we land, we arrive, then we shooting, something like that, In the middle, I want to go back to the studio, editing. 15 days, my eyes they're like a whole ping pong ball there, 2 ping pong. Simon, why you put a ping pong ball in your eyes? Yeah, that's true story.
From hundreds of hopeful candidates, Sammo chooses a number of doubles, including Tai Jern Kim and Tong Lung, and enlists the services of acrobatic genius Yuen Bu to recreate the combative essence of Bruce Lee. This groundbreaking motion picture, which is scored for the international market by Bond legend John Barry, heralds the use of Panaglide cameras for the first time in a Hong Kong production, and also breaks the record for the number of extras used during principal photography. Featuring a basic linear storyline concept, this modernized version tells the story of a talented martial arts actor fighting for his freedom against members of a powerful crime syndicate. It is released to a fanfare of public appreciation in 1979, breaking box office records across the globe and even stripping the box office receipts for Enter the Dragon in Japan. Containing only 11 minutes of footage from the original rushes shot by Bruce Lee in 1972, this 1978 version, although commercially successful, totally abandons the ideological overtones of Bruce Lee's original multi-level concept. The other 49 minutes of footage, which Lee had shot back in '72, is believed lost to the ravages of time, and so reluctantly, fans around the world reconcile themselves to the fact that they will never see the expanded storyline from the Game of Death as Lee intended. But then, 21 years later, the impossible happens. In 1999, during a search of the Golden Harvest archives, British writer Bay Logan discovers the original unedited rushes for the Game of Death hidden in storage. Totaling almost 60 minutes, this raw footage reveals the genesis of a very different kind of movie. It is common knowledge within the Hong Kong filmmaking community that Bruce was far from crystallizing his entire concept for the Game of Death. However, an analysis of the completed rushes, coupled with a literal translation of Lee's unfinished script notes, uncovers the following basic premise. 3 warriors are given the task of fighting their way up a multi-level pagoda. To pass from one floor to the next, each fighter must defeat a master of a particular style. During the progression of the battle, 2 of the fighters will be defeated and killed due to their inability to adapt to the differing challenges presented on each floor. The Ultimate Warrior, played by Lee, a fluid fighter unrestricted by an adherence to any one particular style, would on the other hand, successfully defeat each subsequent master before gaining enlightenment after victory on the uppermost level of the pagoda. For his accomplices in the movie, Lee wanted one, although an ally, to appear slightly devious towards his character, thus creating a counterpoint in the dynamic of the movie plot. For the antagonistic accomplice, Lee chooses James Tien, a regular Golden Harvest studio player, who had starred opposite Lee in 2 of his 3 previous films in Hong Kong. For the second accomplice, a simple-minded but technically excellent martial artist, Lee elects Hong Kong stuntman Che Yun. Although both veterans of the industry, it would be the first time the 2 men had worked together. As for the guardians or protectors of each of the 5 floors, Lee makes his selection from some of the most accomplished martial artists in the world. The first level was to be guarded by Wang Yu-sik, a real-life master of Taekwondo and Hapkido. Lee had worked with Wang before in Way of the Dragon and was very impressed with both his execution and timing. Tragically, due to Lee's untimely demise, the 2 men would never work together on the Game of Death. This rare screen test footage shot by Lee in Hong Kong's New Territories is all that remains of Wang's involvement in the project. For the keeper of the second floor, Lee chooses his real-life friend and senior student, Taki Kimura.
I have to believe that the reason that he asked me to be in that picture was not because I had any ability, but I think he felt that he owed me something possibly, and maybe that was his way of trying to pay me back, because when he called me and asked me to be in this Game of Death, I told him very simply, I said, look at Bruce, I said, I've got 2 left front feet, and I can't move like you want me to, and we have a very strong friendship, but I don't want you to kick my butt and we end up, not friends. So I said, just let me sit here and